People who hide their success aren't afraid of being seen, they're afraid of being misunderstood. This is the part no one talks about. We glorify success as something you should share, something you should post, something you should announce loudly to the world. But there is a certain kind of person, a quieter, more introspective soul who hides their wins, their progress, their growth, and their achievements. Not because they're ashamed of succeeding, but because success feels safer when it's silent. It feels more sacred when it's kept close. Most people assume that hiding success comes from insecurity, shyness, or fear of judgment, but the psychology is much deeper. Many of these people hide their success because they grew up learning that attention is dangerous. They grew up learning that praise comes with expectations, and expectations come with pressure. They grew up learning that the moment you shine too brightly, someone tries to dim you. Someone becomes jealous. Someone becomes competitive. Someone tries to pull you back down. Carl Jung said, "The brighter the light, the darker the shadow." People who hide their success understand this intuitively. They know that the moment the spotlight hits them, shadows follow: envy, entitlement, projection, comparison. They know that attention changes how people treat you. Suddenly, you're not a person, you're a symbol, a target, a threat, a resource. And people who have tasted that shift even once in their life often decide it is better to grow quietly than to be celebrated loudly. Many of them learned early that success attracts the wrong kind of energy, the kind that is disguised as support but rooted in jealousy, the kind that sounds like compliments but feels like competition, the kind that comes with fake interest, forced closeness, opportunistic relationships, and subtle resentment. So they hide. They protect their peace by protecting their progress. And also, many people who hide their success are deeply humble. Not performatively humble, not fake humble, not I pretend to be humble, but secretly want validation humble, but truly humble, spiritually humble. They believe their success is not something to display, but something to live. They measure their achievements by how they feel on the inside, not how they look on the outside. They don't need applause because they have alignment. They don't need validation because they have direction. They don't need approval because they have purpose. They also understand something most people don't. Success is fragile at the beginning. Dreams are like seedlings, they need warmth, darkness, protection, and silence. If you expose them too early, people's opinions can crush them. People's doubts can poison them. People's fears can suffocate them. So they hide their success the same way someone would shield a newborn flame from the wind. They protect it until it's strong enough to stand on its own. Jung said, "What you resist not only persists, but grows in size." People who hide their success understand this. They don't resist their ambition. They don't resist their growth. They don't resist their evolution. They just resist the noise around it. They refuse to let other people's projections define their path. Some hide their success because they grew up in environments where achievement created distance, where being good at something meant you were showing off, acting better than others, or trying to be different. These subtle shames stay in the subconscious. They learn early that blending in feels safer than standing out. Others hide their success because they have experienced loss. They know how easily things can disappear. They know dreams can be fragile, progress can be temporary, and life can be unpredictable. They don't want to celebrate too soon. Not because they're ungrateful, but because they've been humbled by life. They've lost things they thought they'd keep forever. They've seen plans collapse, so they succeed quietly until they're absolutely sure the ground beneath them is stable. Some people hide their success because they fear raising expectations. They fear that once people know they're capable, they will demand more. They will expect more. They will judge more harshly. They fear that their worth will become tied to performance. So they keep their wins hidden, not because they doubt themselves, but because they want space to breathe, grow, and explore without scrutiny. And some hide their success because they are introverts in a world that worships extroversion. They don't need attention to feel alive. They don't need validation to keep moving. They don't need an audience to stay motivated. Their reward is the journey itself, the quiet mornings, the late nights, the private victories that only they will ever know. They thrive in silence because silence allows them to hear themselves. themselves. People who hide their success often have an advanced emotional intelligence. They can sense people's intentions. They can feel when celebration turns into comparison, when curiosity turns into envy, when support turns into monitoring. They have learned to trust their intuition more than people's words. They know when someone wants to celebrate them and when someone wants to compete with them, and so they keep their circle small, their progress private, and their success sacred. They also know that the more you share, the more you give people permission to comment on, criticize, or interfere with your life. And for some people, success is not something to be debated. It is something to be lived. They don't owe the world an explanation. They don't owe anyone proof. Their results speak quietly but clearly. Hiding success is not the same as hiding potential. It's not the same as being small. It is the act of growing without noise. It is the understanding that the most beautiful transformations happen in silence, like caterpillars turning into butterflies, seeds turning into forests, wounds turning into wisdom. Some transformations are too sacred to be witnessed. Some victories are too personal to be shared. People who hide their success are often the ones who have done the deepest inner work. They've learned the difference between attention and connection, between applause and fulfillment, between validation and self-worth. They don't need the world to clap for them because they are finally clapping for themselves. They don't need to be seen because they finally see themselves. Their success is inward first, outward second. Carl Jung once wrote that the most important journey a person can make is the one inward, the journey to themselves. People who hide their success are walking that path. They are building something powerful not just for the world, but for their own soul. They are becoming someone solid, someone grounded, someone aligned. They are creating a life that doesn't need an audience to feel meaningful. They understand that the strongest trees grow in silence. The deepest roots form underground. The most powerful breakthroughs happen in private moments, the nights when no one is watching, the mornings when no one knows the battles you've fought, or the dreams you've protected. They hide their success because they know that not everything sacred should be shared. Some wins are meant to be whispered only to yourself. Some blessings are meant to be lived quietly. Some victories are meant to be felt, not flaunted. They hide their success because they understand a simple truth. When you don't tell the world what you're building, the world can't ruin it. And maybe, just maybe, hiding your success is the most powerful form of success of all. Because the moment you finally reveal what you've become, no one will ever forget it.